Are we live? Are we live?
Does anyone
We're
have
live. I
indications
guess
that
we're
we're live?
live.
So we're live. We're glad you're
Now,
with us.
and we're ready to get going.
Looks like we're live. Okay, guys, we're live. It is
Are we?
Wednesday. We are officially
Okay.
live.
Okay.
Sure.
Officially.
I'm sure. It is Wednesday, September 30th, 2020. It is week 8 here in Big Brother USA 22 All Stars. This was the Veto episode tonight. I'm Dave Mader, joined with my brother Jeff Mader and co-host Jaemeel Robinson to break this down tonight, as this is the eve before the triple eviction, and we're seeing how this Cody HOH plays out, with Cody winning the veto. But maybe the scandal of the episode, the headline at this hour: David took the money instead of competing, and it pissed a lot of people off. Jeff, Jaemeel,
That's not the scandal at the hour for me, Dave. The scandal at the hour is: does Davon know Kevin is half black?
Oh.
does Kevin know that Devon?
Does
Does
Davon
Davon
know?
know?
Does Davon know that Kevin is half black?
Why is that? Okay. Is there something I'm missing? Why
Yes,
she
you are
said
absolutely missing it completely, Dave. Don't
'Cause
feel
she's-
bad. Don't feel bad.
She said that she wanted someone of color to win the game, right?
Right.
And she said there's 3 people in the house: her, Bailey, and David are the 3 people of color. But no,
She probably does not know that.
she probably doesn't even know he's half black.
So this
imagine she would include him if she knew.
This requires some explanation. Okay, so Davon, when she made her comment, she specifically was talking about people that look like her, specifically.
Gotcha.
Right?
Fair,
Who
fair.
is, Bailey, David, and herself are very visible minorities.
Yeah.
Kevin, who is also a minority, being gay, is also a minority, but he is not a visible minority in the sense of, let's say, for example, Mariah Carey, right? She can work in between the cracks, right? And can portray white, right? Unless she declares that she's black. Kevin
Right.
also can, like, if no one said anything, someone might say he might be Mexican, but he could just be European.
That's what I thought. I thought he was like Hispanic.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. And in addition to that, let's take Hollywood for example. There is a big trend where darker black individuals have a tough time on screen than lighter skinned individuals, right?
Right.
You see a lot more representation in the light skinned, black skinned community than there is in the darker skin. And some of that is worldwide senses of beauty. Lighter skin is considered more beautiful, where darker skin is not. You see that in Japan. You see it in some European cultures as well, right? Even in some Latin American cultures, lighter skin means a layer of beauty than others. So I do feel that the conversation that Kevin brought up is a valid one, definitely. But people drag in Davon for it. Partially, yes, I agree / don't agree.
I'm not dragging her. I'm not trying to like
Drag her, Jeff.
But I will drag her a little bit in the fact that I think she was like me. Like I thought Kevin Campbell was as half Hispanic, half white. That is what I thought.
Like, to be honest, I thought he was a tie. Like, so it was. But I think that there's something to be said there about. I understand completely what Jameel's speaking to. I think that there's also a whole thing about, like, you can't really make assumptions on what people's backgrounds are or how they identify just by based on whether or not you think you see if you think that they fit into how you define yourself, if that makes sense. Like, it's
Right, but he's not going around saying, like, talking about his like Japanese heritage and talking about like the fact that he is half black. He's just Kevin Campbell. Kind of David said it to him tonight. He's like, "You're Kevin Campbell, man. Like, that's who you are." Right. And like, like a lot of this, like in our modern times now, is a lot about identity politics and about identity. And I think Kevin Campbell is like one of these people that wants to be fit in. He wants to be with the cool kids. Like he's having that dilemma within the house, as but he's also talking about like how he's like, he's half Japanese and he's half black, but he's also American, and he's kind of like, but he's also gay. So he kind of like doesn't fit into like the cool kid box, like in almost any single way. And I can kind of like totally understand where he's coming from. Like I kind of felt for Kevin, but I kind of want him to do that earlier and use that. That's a weapon for you. Don't tell the DR only. Go use that in the game. That's what I thought going with Kevin.
I can absolutely understand his plight. I have not walked his road, mind you, but I can understand his plight in terms of being a mixed child. I'm not a mixed child, mind you, but being a mixed child and kind of like not being black enough for the black folks, not
Right.
being whatever for the other folks, because a lot of times, especially when you're younger or when you're interacting with like older folks in the generation, they want you to be one thing. You're Italian, be a good Italian boy. You're Japanese,
Right.
be a good Italian boy. Sorry, Japanese boy, et cetera, right? And he's kind of like, well, no, I'm both. So why do I have to choose to be one or the other? I'm both, right? And he's kind of like on the outside, and but you see also at the same time when you get on an individual basis, like what David is telling him, he's like, "You're Kevin. I only thought of you as Kevin, right?"
Right.
And that is good and bad. It's good that he recognizes the person that he is, but he does not recognize, or he didn't recognize, that he also had a similar struggle as he did.
Right, because it's not something people like bring up. Like, hey, how you doing? I'm Jeff, and then you go into your struggles in life growing up, and like you don't immediately start talking about that. Even if you are in the house with somebody for 2 months or 3 months, you're not just going to jump to those
It's not usually
conversations.
where people start the conversation. It's it's friendships. As people get to know each other, and as you run out of things to talk about, you do go into more of the,
Like
maybe
being a Texan.
yeah, the parts of your life that that you wouldn't necessarily bring up at parties.
But we did, but we did see a little bit tonight in the veto competition. Not to jump ahead, but like where Enzo and Cody were going against each other. Enzo's like North Jersey versus South Jersey, and it's just like two Jersey boys, like they're like bonding over this Jersey.
People look for things to connect on in those ways, whether those be nationality or whether those be like race or background or even just what team you cheer for, or
Glasses lovers. All of us love glasses.
glasses, like different things, right? People connect on different things. I think that that's just a human thing we do, and I think these days we're motivated in more ways than ever in how we do that. Good.
Yeah, for sure.
But the Jersey boys, which one was which? I don't know who's the North and who's the South.
I think Enzo's from the North and Cody's from the South.
Enzo definitely is from North Jersey.
Yeah.
Definitely.
North Jersey's the more New York.
So that means that Cody's from the South. That means that he's from the Philly affiliate.
Yeah. Which totally.
Cody lives in the suburbs in Philly.
I heard bad things happen in Philadelphia. I heard that somewhere else.
Wind up your windows. Don't
Bad
stop
things.
and ask for directions like someone did. Who was driving that time? I'm still angry about that.
Well, that was
Was
you
it
and me,
hot?
right?
Yeah. Were you driving?
Yeah, it was you and I driving to Philadelphia. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't our car. It was the car in front of us.
Right. Yeah. But that was what Trump said last night on the debate. He goes, "Bad things happen in Philadelphia."
Well, nothing bad ended up happening, but still, I think the only bad things that happened in Philadelphia was me having that cheesesteak and what happened afterwards. Bad things happen in Philadelphia.
Bad things happen when you have a cheesesteak. Just like Cody and his brother Paulie, who were having that chicken wing eating contest or whatever it was at the fair. But here, I digress, Jeff. Where were we on this conversation? this whole thing with David. I think we have to get to David and the fact that David, everything about him, but this $10,000. Okay, how it looked, his perception in the house is tanked. That's the fact here.
That's
Which
perfect.
I don't understand. I don't understand this at all.
Why
I
he
don't.
was judged in such a harsh way?
Because, like, legit, Cody made it very clear to everyone that Kevin's his target. So why would he care?
That
He already has
and
a better
also-
relationship with the guys. Repeatedly, week after week, they've assured him. He's shown that he does not worry. Who are they trying to present the facade that he might pick Dave
I think
instead
you're
of Kevin?
underestimating, though, one thing, Jaemeel, that they're all living in the house with Christmas. And Christmas is living in this other reality where it's all about competitiveness, right? And she was not happy that she was not picked by David to be in this veto, right?
Tell her to win an HOH, and then she'll be in the veto.
But I can't win if I can't play.
Win HOH. Unfortunately, she doesn't have Davon there to throw it to her. So
That's right. She doesn't have Dave on there to literally gift her.
Yeah.
You hear that clip I played?
Yeah, it was a good.
Yeah, we
One.
heard it. That's
Yeah,
good.
you had it ready there. You're itchy. You're like,
ready.
I'm ready. I'm gonna push that button.
I was ready for it. I was like that when I heard it in the episode. I was like, I have to get that. So I can't win if I can't play.
Right. Okay, I do think a big dynamic of what's going on in the house right now is 100% because of Christmas. I think you saw it in the episode tonight when she like storms out of the veto room and then she goes into the room and the whole house just kind of like looks at each other and goes, right? But also kind of goes, oh fuck, I don't want to be the one to piss her off. So let's all three of us go in there and hug her.
There was like a parade of people who had to come in. It started with Tyler, but then Memphis showed up and Cody was there. They were all there to give her hugs. And
they killed my love.
yeah,
they
they
killed
her
her
with kindness, but and Danny was just beside herself. She is competitive on a new level, she said, I believe, or something along those
Right.
lines.
And then Cody goes, "Oh yeah," and then in the OTEV, like literally goes out of his way to beat Kevin. You know, and like he's the HOH, I get why, but at the same time, like it's kind of like, come on,
How
man, throw the
cowardly
ball.
though does Cody look? Like in this whole
Cowardly?
thing. Well, just the fact like he's been putting up Kevin week after week. He's basically the dog of the house. Like that, you know, like nobody will align with him. It's a sad situation. He's just like, you're my target, Kevin, blah blah blah. And he's like, I can't have Kevin. Who might put me on the block? And like, come on, Cody, you're being like you are so insulated.
Go after,
You're in
like-
this game, and this guy, you have put Kevin through a rougher time in terms of gameplay here. It's all fair, but it's like just how intense you are. It's just a little bit unsettling, or it's just it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth overall.
Right, but we also saw it tonight with Enzo, where he's just tired of putting the same people up, the same boring fucking strategy, which is kind of funny because Enzo did one of the most boring HOHs we've had. But at the same time, like, it's just, you know, he's the type of guy that, like, wants to shake things up. If he had won the veto tonight over Cody, he would have used it. So at least he said he was going to use it.
Yeah, so I think Cody would have really tried to talk him out of it. And I think push came to shove. I don't think that Enzo was going to go against Cody or Memphis.
Correct. That was just posturing for the DR.
Maybe you're right. But
I think deep down, maybe he feels like this, but it's. I don't, in terms of what I think he'll do versus what he says.
Okay, there's a chance though. There's a better chance than not that he would use it. Okay, let's put it that way. And so he's willing to shake the game up. And once the game gets shaken up tonight, once it gets shaken up in the triple eviction, I don't think David's going to go home in the triple eviction, guys. So David, I think now is in, like, to me, he's going to be in the top 5.
You're assuming that Kevin is the one going tomorrow.
Yeah, he's going. Yeah, if Kevin goes home tomorrow, David to me is like lock him in.
$10,000, Jeff.
Yeah, like he like Jameel's absolutely right. He was absolutely should have taken the money. I would have taken the money.
But
too.
should he get shamed so much? I think it's because the narrative of the house is what Christmas has said and what Enzo has said. These other
Right, but that's all going to change once this triple eviction happens.
She
That's all.
She would have went for the money. She would have went for the money.
She
Are they
just
just mad
wants.
they didn't get the money? Is that what this is about?
No, she didn't get to compete, and she wants to, she wants to compete.
I'm mad at David for this reason. He had a chance to sort of have his cake and eat it too. I understand that he was willing to take the money over the veto, but
Right, but he had Cody beat.
this is if he had been sort of forward thinking enough here, he would have hid that $10,000 shirt somewhere. It's not likely to be found, right? Just for the one round, get Cody out of this veto at the very least, right? Because Cody is like we saw went on to win this veto. This was if you were going to knock him out, this would have been the time. We saw that Tyler went first in the next round. So then this could have gone like
It would have been Franzel, Enzo, and Kevin, and outside of Franzel, who was practically useless, especially during the end.
I don't think
three people that said they were gonna.
She would not have beat out those other people.
Yeah.
So
you had three people technically that could have changed the nominations.
Right. David could have thrown the next round, but he's just again the rookie. He's the rookie all-star. He's kind of living up to it here. This was not a great strategy in terms of.
No, he doesn't have a strategy. David doesn't play with a strategy, Dave. He's not that sophisticated of a player.
I don't begrudge him the choice to take the money, or.
Right, and he should have played it with a better strategy. But at the same time, say he had not got he done your plan and hid the $10,000 shirt, got Cody out. There's no guarantee that Cody's going to come up to the platform right away. He might search around for a while to find the prize because they knew there was a prize.
You can get it if you're the last person, right?
Yeah.
So
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can't, and maybe he would be out anyway. But I don't know. Like, I just think David, whatever, man. Like, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, they're going to get me out anyway whenever they want. Why not get $10,000 richer?
Yeah. Here's what David. If he I know he won't, but if I were him, and I knew what I know, I would think it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to win out, right? I'm they can pick me off at any time. Yeah, maybe I can win an HOH or a veto here, maybe to save myself. But effectively, his place in the game is expendable, and so if he survives the triple eviction, for instance, and even maybe the one after that, suddenly he's in the final five, and who knows, right? But it's just
if he wins HOH and then he wins veto. He wins HOH, then the following week he wins veto, he's in the final three.
Right. And maybe this is just people are throwing him under the bus hard over this because it's an easy thing to do, and they know that they're going to have to start targeting each other soon. And this is just them getting scared. They're like, okay, well, Kevin's next, but then David, I guess, right? David's still public enemy.
Who's going to go?
Why would you get rid of me before David? That makes no sense.
Yeah, there's all this posturing going on. And there's also a lot of drama going on between Danny and Nicole. I don't know if you guys have heard.
Well, we saw this conversation tonight. Danny and Nicole had a conversation where Danny's up to her old stuff. She's up to her old tricks. She's trying to sow discord. She's talking about, we got to take out Christmas, which Nicole's not so into. We saw in this conversation tonight that Danny wants to sort of make bigger, bolder moves. And it's not the Nicole Franzel style. So she's going to part company with Danny probably as soon as she feels she can.
Right, but isn't Danny Nicole's number one ally? Why does Nicole keep doing this entire season? She's just like, who's my ally? Throw him under the bus and get rid of him. That's what she's been doing the whole season.
Her supposed number one ally. Remember, pre-game alliance.
So her real number one is Cody.
It's not Nicole. It's not Danny.
It's definitely Cody. Cody and Franzel are as thick as thieves. They are.
But Danny didn't know about this pre-game alliance. Is that what you're telling me? She didn't know.
Maybe she's in it, but maybe her pecking order in it is not as high as we think it is, right? Or she thinks. Yeah. So
she was probably sold a false bill of goods, which was like Nicole and Danny to the end, and Nicole's like, "Yeah, I'm really with Cody."
Danny should team up with Tyler. Really?
Yeah, well, that won't happen now.
Yeah, it's not going to happen now.
No, I know, but it should. That would be the most smart thing.
Yeah. What were the, okay, and so Danny and Nicole. What else can we say about them? That they're dumb for not like really just trying to get through their issues.
So I like how was it Nicole and Christmas were talking about being the last two girls. I think it was it Danny and Christmas or Christmas and Nicole, or was it Danny and Nicole that had that conversation? And it just seems so weird. It's like, well, there could have been three girls, but no, we're gonna somehow celebrate two girls left and a whole bunch of dudes.
A whole bunch of like alpha dudes too, right?
Yay, girl power!
I'm like, come on, what are you guys talking about? Like, I don't know how they have these conversations without just like, this is dumb. We should stop talking about this.
Like, and just while we're on it, like, okay, in terms of Frenzel tonight, her in this veto competition, I liked it, but I mostly hated it. I liked that she was falling on her face. There was a couple bounces of her face off on that slippery slide thing they were good. Like, they were solid. But otherwise, this was mostly a PR sell. Like,
they've been going hard on her.
They are trying to repair her image hard. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was rigged for her just being this veto so she could have these moments. Yeah. Like she's playing it up. Like, they're telling her, like, do the like smiles and like you're adorkable and you're all these things, right? We for our show to succeed, they believe that the people have to like our characters, and they think of her as one of the big characters, if not the star of this season, right? Frenzel and Cody are the stars of this show to them. Supporting cast of Christmas, Memphis, now Enzo, and a few others, but it's really their show. So it was tough. It was like it's like being force-fed candy. It was, but like that the candy you don't like circus peanuts or something. It's like one of those marshmallows. It was bad.
Did you think she could get up? Did you think she could actually get up the hill, or do you think she threw that to Cody? That's my question.
We saw her get up the hill.
Like, sure, you did it. Yeah.
Do you you think she threw it for Cody, like, and did all like just acted like she couldn't get up the thing?
You mean when she finally got eliminated?
Yes. She got up it like 5 other times before she got eliminated.
Yeah, like she clearly doesn't have great upper body strength, but like it's.
I don't think Kevin has much either.
I think she didn't even care if she won the competition. You're right, Dave. I think she went out there to repair her.
It wasn't about her. She said she wanted to win it, but
she did not want to win.
She really just wants to keep noms the same. That part was true.
Once Kevin was gone. No, well, was Kevin gone? Yeah,
I think
Kevin was gone the round before, right?
He was gone the round before. So yeah, once he was gone, Nicole was like,
it didn't matter for her. Yeah, exactly.
Because she know that Enzo would kiss the ring and Cody would keep it the same.
Yeah, so she's just playing the odds, but she's again more dishonest Nicole in the DR, right? And she's like, I don't like. She's really selling it. She's putting on the smile, the charm, all these things. And she wants you to like her. And is it working?
No. No buys.
No one's buying it. I'm not buying it. So like, I'm sorry. Like, and I'm sure she's got her fans, and that's great. I don't want to have hearts on her every week because but as there are fewer and fewer people to talk about, we have to circle back to her at least for a few minutes every episode.
She's on the show a lot.
Yeah, she's in the show a lot. Yeah. So and then
I don't like it.
Danny,
I don't like it, Dave.
I don't think Danny's a factor this week. We'll see how Danny plays tomorrow night. I want to also talk about this conversation between Enzo and David that we had pre-veto tonight. This was a little odd. Did anyone else feel so? I
think it's just Enzo. Like, Enzo's been doing this a while. This is his jury management. He's going to each person. He's like, yo, man, I really want to shake this house up. Right? I want to shake this house up. You're a fighter, man. Let's fight, okay? Let's mix it up, right? If I win this HOH, if I win this veto, I'm gonna flip this whole house around, man. Don't worry about it. He's already got his wins. Like, he doesn't have to worry about it. He got he won a safety suite, he won HOH, and he won a veto, right?
Yeah, he's got a
That's
resume.
that's way more than what he did his previous thing. Way more than people who already are playing already, right? Who still are in the commission. So he has nothing to worry about. Like if they go, "Hey Enzo, you don't win enough," it's like, what's Danny and what's Nicole brought to the table? What has Christmas brought to the table? She was thrown it, and everyone knows it, right? You know what I'm saying? He would say, "Yo," I didn't say enough yos.
Yeah, you did not have nearly enough yos there. I would say it was a little. I'm like, who talks like this? Does Enzo really talk like this?
North Jersey represent.
He's from Bayonne, New Jersey, which is on the same little island that the Liberty National Golf Course is. It's like basically across the way from Staten Island.
It's basically it's the Jersey
basically
Staten
from-
Island.
He's basically from Staten Island. He's literally across the bridge, and you're in Staten Island.
So he's a mixture of Staten Island and Jersey.
Yeah, like he's from Jersey, but he's basically from Staten Island. He's basically Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Like it's the same guy.
And he's probably
Same
from
way.
the era of Jersey Shore when that was big, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
it's probably, yeah. Fair enough. And like I get that the people I guess do talk like this, but it's very unusual. Especially when he was talking. David's just like, yeah. Oh.
What are you gonna say to that? You don't want to like. If the guy's getting himself hyped up, he's like, I don't want to stop you from winning that veto and changing noms. Sure, bro. Yeah. Let's get hyped. But then after you leave, you're like,
the energies between these two were so contrasted. It was just. Woof.
well, then David plays it up in the HR. He's like, oh, you feel that? The block is hot. I'm like, come on, bro. Stop fooling. Stop fooling. Stop
that
fooling.
veto, you win that veto. Like, is that what you just say to people who are on the block when you're in the house? Like, hey, sucks to be you, but win that veto, and then hey, you didn't win the veto. What are you gonna do? You didn't win.
Don't worry, man. You were close, man. You were close. You're a champion. You did it, man, yo. You really go. You know what? You showed me something I never saw before, yo.
Is
You
that the
are
best
a
strategy
star.
to patronize people?
Sure, if you're so good at being a goof that people don't recognize the difference between you being insincere and just your general idiocy, that has just come so natural. What can you do? Like,
Yeah.
are you like if you're Davon, are you mad at Enzo? No. If you're like anyone, are you mad at Enzo? Why would you?
She wouldn't be mad at Enzo.
No, right?
She's
There's
pro-
more than enough people to be angry at.
I'm sure she's probably mad at Frenzel. I would imagine, right?
Probably. But like, look, even if Kevin got put up, Kevin and David both got put up by Enzo. Neither of them have no problem with Enzo.
Yeah, like I understand why this like one of these two going isn't the best thing for Enzo, but at the same time, Enzo is just hoping he's not next. Even if David remains the target next week or for the second part of this triple eviction, then who is it? Okay, let's say David goes in part. Let's say it's Kevin in hour one or whatever. In part two, somehow it's David that goes because that's just the way the season's been going.
David's not going to go, and he won't.
Just hear me
That's
out.
not
Just let me hear it. Because now
Here's fair.
it's like all of the other targets are gone, right? Like these except for Enzo, who's not in the alliance but has been very solid with a bunch of these people.
I don't know.
Right.
Enzo's pretty dark, so he might go on the block. Okay. Sorry.
Well, yeah.
Sorry to mess you up. Sorry.
No, but like I'm just thinking like I know it all depends on who wins, but I am just salivating a little bit to see these people go at each other. Finally, after all this posturing, yes, everything.
Dr. Will enters the house and they have another person to vote out for another week.
If Cody has anything to say about it, it's Christmas next, right? Like Christmas after Kevin, right?
Yeah.
Or
I think
you
he's
can-
just done.
It depends who like gets power. Honestly, that's really what's gonna.
Like-
It's what it's gonna come down to. And
Question here: will Cody regret not using the veto, especially if Christmas wins HOH and evicts Cody?
I mean, he'll regret it if he gets evicted.
Yeah. Like, but he's putting Christmas' name out there in a way that it's not, they're not going to say, oh, Cody was saying your name, Christmas. No, he's just kind of saying she does need to go. that she's annoying, right? But he's never the one that's saying Christmas gotta go, or I'm gonna put, like, he said Christmas, he's gonna put Christmas up, but like you can see his tone changed. So he already sees that Nicole wants to buddy up. You see Danny, like Danny winning would be perfect for him because the obvious targets are gonna be uh, Christmas and Tyler,
Yeah.
right? And then Cody was stoking that fire earlier on in the week, and then he can kind of sit back. He's not HOH. He can't be HOH, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
Comment here from JJ. He's saying Enzo is to the committee as JC was to level 6, but JC was much more strategic. I agree with you on the fact that Enzo is playing that same role to the committee as JC was to level 6. I don't think JC was more strategic than Enzo, though.
What do you mean? He was cooking them lots of fatty foods.
Yeah, he was making them fat.
And he was able to sneak in there in the small, very minuscule places.
Yes,
right?
he had abilities others did not.
Yes.
But
What has Enzo done?
Enzo, I just think, is a little bit more hungry and a little bit more willing to go after people, and I think that he understands that now that there's nobody left. Like maybe he thinks he's in a better position in the house than Frenzel and Danny. I guess is what he has in mind, or who he thinks will be ahead of him to go. But I don't know if maybe that's right, maybe that's not. We're gonna see how this plays out. But I think JC had blinders on for Tyler. I think Tyler completely duped JC, and I don't know if Enzo is as duped as JC was. I don't have evidence to say. Guys, any thoughts on that?
No, I can understand your theory. I can absolutely understand your theory. We'll just have to, once again, this week is so boring in the sense that we want to get to Thursday. Thursday is where we're going to see the rubber hit the road, and a lot of dominoes are going to fall. It's been in a straight line. Now we're going to see some divergence. So, like, I want everyone to go, Mary. Mary asks, who do you want to go in this triple? Everyone.
Because we'll only have 6 people left after tomorrow night.
Everyone, yeah. I'd like to see Cody go. I'd like to see Christmas go. I'd like to see.
You can only have 2, right? Because it's going to be Kevin it will be Kevin or David. Probably
Christmas
Kevin.
and Memphis. Those are the 2 players I'd like to see go the most.
Christmas and Memphis.
Yeah.
Cody and Tyler.
No, I like Tyler. Tyler's the only player I like in the house.
No, I
want,
like the meow meow.
I want it to be Nicole and Cody.
Ooh, you said that reluctantly.
I want Christmas.
Well, Christmas. I also want Christmas gone, but I don't need Chris. Mary's saying she wants Cody and Christmas gone, so she's well. Okay, I think Cody, Christmas, or Frenzel. Any of those 3 are at the top of my list. Like, I don't care which 2 of those 3. Even if I get even just one of those 3 out, I will be a little happier than I am this week. Comment here is, Jaemeel, what needs to happen on Thursday for it to not to be boring, or not to stay boring?
Willie Hands comes in, starts headbutting the entire cast.
Hulk Hogan shows up to bust some heads, and
was it Jurassic Express comes in. That's a wrestling group that includes your wrestling boy. What's his name? Not Memphis. Not one who used to wear the top hats with the twins. Judas.
Well, where's Dr. Will? I don't understand. Isn't he moved in next door? But he's not showing his face. Does he only show?
It's an appearance fee. It's appearance fee. It was 1 appearance fee, so he showed up. 2, he has done, like, they're gonna show videos tomorrow most likely, but the rest of the time they're trying to construct. It's like what's it called again? The claymation. They have to slowly move his Botox face,
right,
so they can move his lips so he can talk, because
labor-intensive.
Yeah, it's so stuck together with all the plastic surgery, looking like friggin' Ken doll, and not a Ken doll in a good way.
Yeah, bad Ken doll.
Yes, bad Ken doll.
Right. I'm with you. And Mary would mind seeing Tyler in Christmas go. Sure, I don't care if Tyler goes one way or the other. I think when we have Slim Pickens left, he might be somebody I'm longing for. So I don't mind if this is my ideal situation. Is tomorrow we're left with like Enzo's still in the house after tomorrow night. I would like to see Danny still be in the house after tomorrow night. And obviously, I think David is somebody I'm hoping will stick around because he's not a good player. I don't want him to win, but I think the game's more interesting if he's in this final group. Because he has a vote, and what does that mean, and how are they going to manipulate that, and to see who uses that or not, and maybe how people have treated him, and sort of what the payback for that might be. I think that there could be some kind of redemption story for the rookie. So that would be good. But yeah, I would if Memphis is or is not in this house after tomorrow night, I don't care. I don't think he needs to go before a bunch of these other people. Right. For me. Even though I don't like
him. They want David to win or do well so that they can cross promote the new CBS hit TV show, The Rookie, with Nathan Fillion.
This is all been a big plug and a cross promotion for The Rookie, right? And David will say, "I'm in the show too. I've always been an actor. I've just been playing them."
That's what his post Big Brother role is, a guest spot.
Deal Eviction, Cody, Nicole, Realistic David, and Christmas. Okay, so if this is what JJ is saying here is true, and it is somehow David goes in this triple eviction, like, isn't that just a waste? Who wants to waste an HOH in this kind of a situation?
Nicole.
Nicole Frenzel, only her,
yes.
Right? And Christmas, I guess.
Christmas, yeah, for sure. Christmas.
She's like, I want war paint. I'm gonna flip this house on its head. I nominate David.
David and Enzo will be your nominations, right?
Yes. The weak links in the alliance.
The wise guys, is that not?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That would be. I guess that's what. Who would Nicole put out? David and who?
David and
Nicole.
Christmas, probably.
Or backdoor Nicole, actually.
And can we see that if this is like two, like what we suspect it will be, is like two back-to-back HOHs, Veto cycles, right? After the first eviction, can we maybe see some kind of a payback eviction in the part 3 of this?
Possibly.
Like if
that's Cody, after David wins, and then David gets eliminated on the second HOH.
Yeah, I think that could be. This could be really interesting tomorrow night, or it could be it could just be more boring. It could be like this big, huge 2-hour thing. Like if oh, great, we got rid of Kevin. Oh, here goes David, and third hour is Enzo. So now the committee is final six. Woohoo, we did it. That's sort of my worst case for tomorrow night. But even if I get like Christmas out tomorrow night, I can take it. At least she's not going to be around.
Christmas
but I can't win if I can't play.
Christmas and Davon in the jury house. I think, you know what? I was wrong. It could be a short turnaround time. They could do a Canadian triple because they can fill the rest of the time with jury house because they have not shown anything from the jury, and they have
only the two of them there. So
they'll show Ian adjusting, right? They'll show Davon showing up, right? Davon shows up. It's like, oh, I didn't know it was you. And then they they watch over Davon's HOH run, and then they watch the beginning of this run. They're like, David took the money. Oh man, that dude's stupid. That kind of thing. It's like, I really hope they decide to take Kevin, keep Kevin and vote out David. And then we get the eviction, right? Then they do one of the other evictions. But they're probably doing slip and slide as the transition to next week is probably going to be slip and slide.
So then we'll go into like the HOH for the next cycle. Is sort of how they'll end it
Yeah, they'll do start, slip, and slide.
tomorrow night.
Yeah, at the very end.
So
At the very end.
this is like quadruple, but it's like the HOH. It's like almost like we have 4 cycles sort of overconnecting in one episode.
We have 2 weeks of Big Brother in 2 hours.
Yeah, plus like the beginning and the end of other ones, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot going on in this episode tomorrow night. It's good. I think it's good. We're gonna have a lot to break down, so that's exciting. Question is, what is the preference? 3 noms or 2 HOHs? I think for me, it's 2 HOHs because I know what 3 noms is, and 2 HOHs. I think, can you even pull that off in 2 hours? Like I think it's ambitious. I usually like a double evictions because of how fast they are and just how you see that all play out, and to get double of that, twice the amount of that in one broadcast is exciting, guys.
Yeah, if they get right to it and they don't show a lot of background stuff, they could do the 2 HOHs, but they're gonna have to really rip through it.
I want 3. I want 3 noms.
You want 3 noms?
I want 3 noms.
And 2 go home.
I want that blood. I want all that blood.
Yeah, like it's. I would like to see how this cast deals with it, but the other thing too is we can get to spoil. We'll have to get to spoilers to sort of really talk about that. So maybe we're okay for the episode. So guys, we're just gonna get to what if there is a little bit of spoilers here. If you don't want to know, then sign up now. But we're just gonna get into some a couple things here. So
We got to hear our boy. Where's our boy? There he is.
you say and okay. So in terms of this is why I wanted to put the spoiler warning, is because what we're hearing is that the house guests are on to the triple eviction.
Yep.
They know this is coming, and apparently these. I was like, what, Wall Yeller, Jaemeel. Jaemeel broke this story to me earlier today. It's like Wall Yeller. He says no. It
Wasn't Wall Yeller.
It was somebody. Okay, so when they go into the DR,
yeah, Dr. Will first did a video talking about I'm not just 1 step ahead of you. I'm not just 2 steps ahead of you. I'm 3 steps ahead of you. All right, and then people were like enough time passed, and like people were coming out of the DR and like kind of bringing it up. I believe someone said that David told Tyler, and then that just kind of snowballed. But it was like after he came from the DR. So some people are attributing it to Dr. Will / production, because obviously production is going to tell Dr. Will what to say. And then others are attributing it to production influencing and kind of asking questions about it, like in preparation. And that's how people were tipped off.
that sucks. I want to be surprised, and I share your disappointment, JJ. This is tough. Like I wanted to see Cody squirm, right? And now he's got all this time to prepare mentally, and they're all playing out these scenarios, and that's part of the reason I'm also favoring the 2 HOHs over the 3 nom BB Canada style, because that's what they know. That's what they will think a triple eviction is, and I would prefer to see another version, and so that they're not as prepared for that, for just that reason. I don't know, like it sucks, and the fact that the production is just so obvious with the writing and their hints. I mean, maybe they do deserve the all-star credit in that they're able to like read into the right things. They're experienced players. All-stars maybe but like in terms of they know what and how to interpret those things. So good on them for figuring that out. But production, you gotta be less obvious. Don't ask things in the DR they always do. They feed these people information. Like, this is not Big Brother.
This is why you can't be mad at Wall Yellers, because the production's worse.
Yeah, they're worse. They're manipulating it in unseen ways. At least the Wall Yellers know about them.
On myself, I'm pro Wall Yeller.
Oh, really?
You're going as far to say you're pro Wall Yeller.
No, I don't really care. But I'm more pro Wall Yeller than I am production.
True. Okay.
Yeah. So
because what they're feeding me with Nicole is bullshit. and I'm
Right.
forced to choke it down every Wednesday, Thursday night.
Should Grodner be fired? That is a big question. I think Alison Grodner.
Let's get some probes in there. Let the
Yeah,
What? She'll so wait, we'll get
Enzo.
Grodner's a producer though. She's not.
What's it like being from North Jersey here on this great show, Big Brother?
But Grodner's like the Mark Burnett of Big Brother, right? So she's runs the whole show, and I think that I would change the guard. I think that big we need sort of new life in this. She's the general manager of Big Brother, if you will, unseen, and like she's obviously got a major infatuation with certain characters that I do not like. Her direction around casting, I think, is not great. I think that there's opportunity for bigger and better production values. So from all those standpoints, like she's a whole regime. Like there's many people that are under her, Rich Meehan and others, that I think like they do a good job in a lot of ways, but in the other ways they don't. They've become corrupted almost.
my problem with it is Survivor is willing to change and try stuff, right? That's the problem. Even in season, stuff will happen, and they're like, you know what? We're not going to do it this way. We're going to do it a different way. Like the one time that people started collaborating on the, pick who to cut their cord with, right? And people were teaming up to make someone wins. Jeff was like, hold on, let's stop. Are you trying to make this person win? And everyone's like,
right there.
Jeff Probst, he can't let that be spoke.
Probst intervened there, I think.
Probst, maybe it was Alison Grodner. It's unclear. But what is clear is that, yes, Jeff Probst will squash that stuff. He's not going to let that to happen.
Yeah.
But here over on Big Brother, we get all this, manipulating of the game. And the production helps with it. It's crazy.
We have live feeds, so we even know about it, right?
Yeah.
We know that how things are compromised,
And it
very specifically.
It happens on Survivor.
We just don't know about it on Survivor, right? So Big Brother, that's part of the reason I do like Big Brother more, is because it is more transparent in terms of you can look, where the cracks are, the faults in the system, why things are going the way they are, because you get that inside track. Survivor, you never get that. They are very good at hiding the production. Even when they had that whole scandal in 39, like the producers got off, like they were never on camera. They never had to really, other than Probst himself. Basically, they got away with it. We don't know their names, but we know these Big Brother people's names, these producers' names, because they're just way more. They got way more of a legacy. They've been doing this for many, many years.
Who has?
Grodner and all of them.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't talk about production because obviously you can see I get punished.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about production. You are not allowed to talk about
Jaemeel,
production.
you are not allowed to talk about production. Jaemeel, no singing.
Question here: if Enzo is evicted tomorrow, who is your winner?
Not me, because all my guys would be eliminated.
David is going to win.
I guess it would be David. Danny, I'm fine with winning, even though I don't like. She's the most likable of who's left.
If Enzo's gone.
If Enzo's gone, and I don't even like Enzo. But I think he's the hero we need, or he's the hero we deserve. I don't know. He's one of those things.
You can see him meowing around with his.
That means he's going to go home.
Catman. He's Catman.
If he starts getting cheered by the crowd, that means he's going home.
Yeah. No. You better not like him too much. If we start to like him, he's going to be evicted. So that's just how it goes.
Great. That's how it goes in Big Brother.
Right. So
who do you hate the most? They're going to win.
And right now, Memphis technically is more hateable. I'm really disliking Cody after this HOH. So Cody is really high up.
Why don't you like Cody?
I don't
10,
like
9.
He's doing everything right.
7, 6.
He gets
Yeah,
whatever
but
wants
he's playing the
ever.
game. He's playing it to perfection. How could you hate perfection?
So I don't know if you know. I think I shared it with Dave. Jeff, you might not have heard about this conversation. Um, Cody had a conversation with David outside, and he's like, "Who should I use the veto on? Tell me now. 10, 9, 8." And like David's response was, "Whoever, whatever is best for your game." And he's like, "That's not a good enough answer. I'm not using the veto now."
Yeah,
I
I
was like,
saw. Yeah, you
"What
said.
what a come on. That's
That
a
was it.
dick
Was
move."
mainly that conversation. You're right. I didn't.
Yeah.
I should have mentioned that. Like I saw you sent me that clip, and I was like, I don't like Cody. I don't like the way he treats people. And Mary's just saying I'm liking Enzo more lately. But Mary, what are you doing now? Enzo is cursed because we like him too much.
He doesn't need your like.
Yeah, we're better
They're
to
going to come
dislike
after him.
Oh, we
Yeah.
need to talk about the curse.
Oh,
We
we
need to talk
should start liking Cody. Oh, I guess I have to like Cody now.
No,
so
no. You forgot the curse. There's a curse that if you win OTEV, you don't win the game. So Tyler and Enzo were talking about it, and then Tyler told Enzo, "Don't tell Cody." What do you think Enzo did?
We told him.
Oh, he told him. He told him.
There's a curse that and nobody that's ever won OTEV has won the game.
Yeah.
I gotta look. I would like to
I think
Fact
that's
see
true.
checkers,
I
can you
think
fact check?
I think that is accurate. And
It's the Karn
is that
Survivor.
what Cody's really upset about? That he had to win this veto? He didn't have. He could have let Enzo have this veto, right? Would it really have ruined his game?
Like, what's the worst case scenario?
He has to put up Christmas. Like, oh, and she somehow stays and she goes after Cody. Is that what his worst case scenario is? Like, I don't really get it. Like, so he's also a coward. That's the other reason I don't like Cody. He's like the way he plays is cowardly, and he's mean and he's a bully. And I don't like him. I liked him when he was with Derek a little bit, but I really was always a Derek guy more than a Cody guy. And I'm glad Derek won. And I know that Derek out there on Twitter is still the biggest Cody booster, and I'm glad that they're good friends. But I like Derek. I do not like Cody. JJ saying Jeff has some precedent for that comment because hated Jackson.
Guess who won OTEV in season 12?
Who?
Enzo.
Meow meow.
Yeah.
Guess
He
who
won it.
also won OTEV in season 20?
Season 20. Tyler also in the house.
Did Tyler lose on purpose due to this curse? Because he won the OTEV and then
Did Enzo lose on purpose?
because
Now
he also.
people- Now
So
Dan
you tell me that
Dan-
both Tyler and Enzo are former OTEV winners, respectively.
and Dan Giesling also won OTEV, but on season 14, the season he lost.
Mm-hmm.
It's a curse.
They didn't play it in season 10 when Memphis played. It was the only season they didn't play since they started in season 7. Janelle was the first actual winner of the OTEV competition. So she's another player on this season that has won the OTEV.
They should have just called this Big Brother OTEV winner.
OTEV, yeah.
Big Brother
And
OTEV
Memphis.
All-Stars. OTEV
David,
stars.
Memphis, David, and OTEV.
What did you guys think of this version of OTEV? We didn't touch on that tonight, but
I liked it.
He was radical, man. He was cool.
Well, when he was being mean though, this hippie didn't know how. He was like, "You're."
Psychedelic salamander.
He was like, "You're most heinous, man. Get out of here."
They're like, we can ride that Bill and Ted's Face the Music wave.
The best year was when OTEV was Gilbert Gottfried. That was the best.
That was the best one. That was season 15.
Yeah.
15. That's right. That's the one
Yeah.
that no one will talk about. But that was I liked it when it was Gilbert Gottfried.
Alyssa won it that year.
Was it Riley?
Yeah, Alyssa won it, and Zach Rance won it the next year in 16. And then Liz Nolan won it, and then Big Meech won it.
Big Meech. Big
And then
Meech.
Why was Big Meech not on this All Stars?
Yeah, Big Meech. Well, then Mark Jansen won it. I remember him, but he sucked. I can't believe he lasted that long into the game. And then
Mark.
Tommy won it last year.
Mark Jansen.
Tommy from Staten Island.
I know, but Mark Jansen is which dude? Is that serial dude?
That's the guy.
That's the guy who was with what's her? He's very not memorable. He's very
Not
he's the guy-
memorable.
Mark
Chick-
Jansen.
Imagine a white guy named Mark. He was on the show.
big muscle dude.
Big muscle guy.
Look at
He wasn't with Raven. Wasn't Raven season.
No, he was with like Elena. But
Oh
he is from
yes.
the Raven season.
Oh yes, I know who Mark Jansen is. Okay, thank you. Once you mentioned Elena, I definitely knew.
Yeah, I think they were a
who
bit
Mark
of an
is.
explosive Instagram couple. I don't think they're together.
Yeah, I think they broke up now.
Was it unfair that Ota winning shirts were all the same color?
No, there were different colors.
No, but like for the round, like it would all be the blue shirts.
Oh yeah. Once you see that someone had a blue shirt, you kind of knew what you're looking for. It made it much easier. I wish there were different colors with just a
too
different
easy.
word on it.
It was completely fair.
They should have taken that other step.
Yeah,
And like they should have had the money ones. They should have had a bunch of money ones that were like minus, right? Or like Turkish lira in the corner, right? So they win like $1. So like you're eliminated because you won a money prize. Unfortunately, you only won $1.
okay, so like fool them, or trick them.
Yeah.
I would like a dynamic like that. Like, but production never makes it that healthy. I think it's just so easy for them to look around and they see like which color shirt a couple of them have taken up the podium first, especially the early rounds.
Well, Zach Rance said that in one of the interviews. And I noticed who was on the end at the beginning, and it was Cody. Cody sat on the end, and Zach Rance said, if you sit on the end, you have way better advantage because you get to see the whole course and you get to like look over the side, So and you have all that time to do that, So they did make it a little bit more difficult where they dropped the balls and they had like it looked like a lot more water going on.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, it's huge advantage to be on the sides, especially at the beginning.
Yep. Okay, so we talked about the OTEP. We talked about who we want to see to go tomorrow night, what we think might happen. Question here. Who will claim to be this season's puppet master?
David, obviously.
I think David got to. It's got to be him, right?
Yeah. He's going to reveal his mask and he's actually Derek.
Yeah. He's going to be in the final two. Yeah, he's going to be Derek.
It's Danny. Danny will try to claim it. Depending on how far.
No, it's David. And he's going to be like, I know in the first time I played, everyone said I was never on the block. Well, this time I wanted to be on the block a lot of times and make people think I was a rookie. But actually, I was controlling everyone, police style. I went undercover as David.
That'd be hilarious if he was like actually like in the DR and he was taking his makeup off and he was like, being Derek and he was like, all right, I'm America's player.
and then Davon would be like, wait a second. Derek, you were in blackface? Credits.
Yeah, I went undercover.
Yeah.
My goal this week is to convince everybody that I didn't save myself with this power, which I obviously did.
They actually handed me the $10,000.
That would be more believable. If he was in this elaborate like twin twist, and he actually like didn't know what was going on.
David and Derek in blackface, and we just didn't realize it.
If it was some, I don't know if I would like to care to speculate on such things, but yeah,
that would be great. I would laugh so hard.
I don't know what to make of this.
It's like no wonder David was clueless.
Also enjoy. Yeah, it'd be funny, and funny knows no bounds.
It's funny. Okay, so we think David will claim to be the puppet master. Who is the puppet master?
Nobody. The answer is nobody, Dave. There's nobody really like puppet mastering this season because this season is filled with a bunch of like number 2 players that are beta players, and they also have the element of crazy via Christmas. So they also have to step around those toes all the time too.
Well,
so
are we hinting that we don't believe in David's 187 IQ?
Isn't 187 the
cop
code for murder, death, kill?
Yeah.
I believe that
I'm just saying that's a little bit on the nose with that.
I believe that David is 19 times the man Cody is because his IQ is only 10.
I respect David more as a person than I respect him.
Yeah, David just seems like a regular dude that just doesn't understand this game.
Yeah, he's just kind of
Yeah,
out of it. Like,
yeah,
he's
this-
just,
He's kind of reminds me of myself when I watch this show. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't care what's going on with your
if I had to
stupidity.
guess David's IQ, I would guess like 90.
90. Like you could be wicked smart, but just like
Smart.
wicked smart.
Not if you're from
Matt.
Philly, where bad things happen.
But just like lack the social awareness to be able to navigate this game
Sure.
properly, not understand the rules because you're like, honestly, if I'm wicked smart and I'm not going to sit down and watch, 20 seasons of Big Brother, I'm going to do smart things like, cure COVID and, program a whole bunch of VCRs and such, like real smart stuff.
Okay, so is Cody smart? Okay, so here we go. All right, where are you guys from? Where are we from? Where are we from? Like, what do you consider yourself? Like, not a Texan or Floridian? What do you guys consider yourself?
A Canadian, I guess.
See, Cody's right.
No,
No, that's not a thing.
I'm a
we don't.
Bramptonian. I'm from
we
the
don't
mean
go
streets
around
of Brampton.
I'm an Ontarioan. No, nobody says that. That's not a thing.
An Ontarian?
Yeah.
You're differentiating cultures, right? U.S. versus Canada, right?
No,
People
but I
go,
think
I'm from Quebecer. I'm a Quebecer, or I'm
Right, but-
en français.
It
I'm a
depends on the
Newfoundland. I'm a
size.
Newfie.
And
Cody is from Jersey. He's not saying like I'm a Jerseyan or a New Jersey boy.
Because they never use that term. They use the term Jersey boy or like boys from Jersey, right? But New Yorkers say New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker, right?
No, I agree. I know that's what they say, but we don't like in certain parts, especially if the name's weird.
But if you're from
Not going-
like New Jersey, like how many New Jerseys can you fit into Ontario? You think?
A lot of jerseys.
Like it's so like they're gonna have a more condensed, more regionalized culture, especially along that eastern seaboard where they have so many different state lines and everything that are like so they tend to have like these smaller tribes and groups or whatever, and versus like out west where it's bigger territories like sort of what we have in Canada, maybe not the East Coast, which is kind of our kind of version. Yeah, so I think if you tend to like have more provinces or states, you tend to have more of this sort of like we're this thing, we're that thing, whatever.
I'm from Florida. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. Duval.
Yeah, like I think like Floridians have a sense of being from that place. I don't know. I'm not American. I just think like when you're from Ontario, I feel like this the least in the in terms of the places I lived in Canada. Like when I lived in Quebec, Quebec is its own thing. They feel like they have a specific sense of themselves, right? And then out east, where we're originally from, like Halifax and Nova Scotia is definitely a thing. But then the Maritimes collectively think of themselves, sort of.
But are you a Saskatchewaner?
Saskatchewan?
What are you? Saskatchewanese?
I don't know what they've done in this, but
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. I
know
don't know
that-
what they are.
and Albertan, I know that one.
Anyway, all I'm saying is, I don't know. Maybe Cody was on to something.
He
got
was
me
on
thinking.
something, is what you mean.
It
on
got me
something.
thinking. And I was probably on something too, but that's okay.
Commenters, I was once told the Canadians were offended that
Whoever told you that?
that USA people call themselves Americans when Canada is also part of North America.
Okay, I got to take on this. I purposely do not call people from the United States American. I try my best to. I call them statesmen, people from the U.S., Amerifriends,
United States
Right.
citizens.
The
Statians,
Republicans. The
Right.
Republicans. They do live in a republic.
them, them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yanks. Yanks is a good one.
What he's saying is right that we are also North Americans, as are Mexicans. We all are Americans, and so are people from Brazil. They live in South America and such. So yes, like I think that's actually more of a South American thing. I saw like someone from Brazil did mention that to me before I met
That
Or-
they refer to
well, just
themselves
that
as
like they consider themselves American in the sense that they're from South America, right? Like, and so they have,
What?
but that I don't know. Like, that's what it said.
American.
So
I've never seen someone more angry. Like I had a similar conversation with uh, a Statian, right? A Yank, and uh, I was talking about, well, where are people from Brazil from? Well, they're from Brazil. And I'm like, well, they're part of South America. It's like, no, no, no. These are the Americas, right? You're from the Americas, but you're only an American if you're from the U.S. And I'm like,
well, it's like it's like yeah, they're like I was like okay, we live in the country of Canada, but like the United States of America is more like that's the name of the country, and that's more of a description. It's really the name of the country is really the United States. Because it's
Of
not even-
America.
but it's not exclusive to even to America.
it's just,
Hawaii is not part of America, is it? Like the continent.
They're of America, Dave.
What about Guam?
of America.
They're of America.
Okay, all right, they're of America. So you are an of American.
Yeah.
They're
They
United
are
States of America.
they are the voting body of the United States of America.
That's
Whereas
right.
Puerto Rico is not. Or did they fix that yet?
They are like the USA is like 60 countries that all came together to be one country. That's what they are. Like,
States,
yeah.
right?
No, but that's just not just the states. There's also, like you said, Guam and the Virgin Islands, and they got all sorts of different places going on. States.
But question from Mary, back to Big Brother, is do you all think that David should go because he took the money?
No.
No.
Yeah,
Here,
I
but
think
yeah.
he should last longer because he took the money. He finally did the
Because-
Dr. Will playbook. He says he's not giving a crap. He's taking the money when he can, and I got to say I respect him for it because he's not doing much in the game. So
If this was Survivor, they would have like, hey, I want to take him to the end because he already got the money. I want to win the game. Right? You would use that as an argument. Anything that they do is an argument for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just them cherry picking that they want to
Yeah.
manage what he did, right? Because he's a vulnerable player because he's not the brightest. We've established this, right? Like
he's not bright. I
about
just don't think I don't think he's in with any of these people. They're never going to give him anything unless it benefits them.
Yeah.
He's like, so he's just kind of
like he could have prepared. He knew he was coming in to play Big Brother. He's already done that.
Ovi gave him a playbook and he didn't follow it.
but he didn't, and now he's there, so he might as well take the money when he can get it.
JJ's pointing out those other places like are territories.
No, I know, but they're still part of the country.
Did you see that Jim Gaffigan where he was making fun of Canada because we still have like the Northwest Territories? Like it
Still
was
part of our country.
right. He was making fun of it because it sounded like it was from like Explorer days or whatever. Like
Like, yeah, he's-
territories or whatever. Yeah,
he's like
so,
the Inuit. What do you want to call your territory? None of it.
none of it, the Yukon
Yeah.
territory. Yeah, like so. Like I know what you're saying. Like,
Is Newfoundland 2 words or 3 words? 1 word.
Who would
Who would
David?
nominate? He'd probably
Everyone.
nominate everybody if he could. Especially,
Put
have you
all the
imagine,
keys in.
can you imagine David wins the HOH and he gets to nominate 3 people? How glorious that will be.
Oh,
David. If David got to nominate 3 people.
I'm just
He would
imagining
do
it.
the wrong thing. He's going to if
He would do the wrong
He
thing.
wouldn't. He wouldn't. He would. He doesn't care anymore, Dave. He's playing with the gravitas that only Dr. Bill played with, which was don't care, but sort of care, but really don't care.
he'll get played. Like he'll get bullied by.
He
Probably,
doesn't care enough to get played.
he will. Cody is got him so.
He just took $10,000 in the first round of OTEV. So he
80,
told-
80-inch screen TV. Here he comes.
Yeah, making a case.
taking Enzo's 80-inch screen TV right from his Jersey hands, and he's putting it up, and he's going to watch all sorts of different, shows about sales and all sorts of different things. But that's what he's going to do. I don't think he cares, Dave. I really don't think he cares whether or not he wins, loses this game.
And he's not going to win HOH.
Right, but then nobody's going to eliminate him. He's going to be the perfect person to take to the end.
Yeah, he's the Victoria.
But
he's going to tell a story about how he was picked up over a bird.
Yeah, like he's. I just don't. If he even somehow does become the HOH, and if he does become the HOH, it's going to be by pure randomness that he ends up in the HOH. It's not because he won it outright, and so it's going to have to be like somehow he got stuck with it, like Christmas did. And if that happens, cool.
No, he can win it. Why couldn't he win it?
See, I don't think he'll try. You just said he's not. He doesn't care. So if he doesn't care, why is he going to win?
He might win an HOH. You can always win an HOH. Most of the time, it's bone luck. Like it's just like
Who is the older? Why don't you tell me?
I think it should be obvious.
It should be obvious, Dave. Obviously,
you should know.
Obviously.
How's that eye doing, Jaemeel? You got that healing up, or what's going on over there, buddy?
Why you call out my suffering?
Yeah,
I see you suffering over there. I go, Jaemeel.
I'm like, no. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
All right, we'll keep going.
I am the elder. Actually, there's actually.
Yeah, he's much older.
I am.
Which I don't know what that says about
We
me.
have another brother too, who's not. He falls between us. So, in the birth world.
I do know that I was bred for this, and these biceps are gonna.
When he was brought home from the hospital,
Your boy needs his meat.
I said he was bred for this, and they said for what? And I said for Big Brother podcasting. That was what.
I said your boy needs his meat.
What's Big Brother said?
Yeah, what's Big Brother? I was very. I'm a Pisces. I'm a little bit psychic, so it's.
Often I wonder.
I have a little bit of that precognition.
Often I wonder when it's. I wonder when Big Brother tells me something. Is it Dave or is it production?
Yeah, you don't know. It could be either.
You don't call production. You call it Dave.
Yeah, I call Dave production. I call production Dave.
In fact, JJ, my son is turning 18 tomorrow. So I don't know if that tells you. So
He's turning 15 when?
He's turning 18 tomorrow.
Wow, jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He can vote as of tomorrow.
We'll tell him happy early birthday. When is he getting on the show?
What's that? When I don't see him being a big. Oh, be on this show?
Yeah.
I told him about it, but I think that he will. He said Trivial Debates is the one that's his truth.
Let him cream Chris.
Yeah, no, he has competed. If you go back into the archives of Trivial Debates, Eamon is one.
Yes, Dave.
I gotta go back and look.
That's the matchup. It's Eamon, Jane, and Chris.
See what that argument. Who's the judge? Not me. That's for sure.
You don't want that.
Yeah. You don't want that, Jaemeel.
I would. It's like Jameel's still angry at Chris for what happened last week.
Yeah.
No, Chris, that's a terrible answer.
Sorry, I did not mean that. Okay. You didn't open a can of worms. It's all right.
No, you didn't open up a can of worms. It's fine.
No, it's the can of worms is out, and can't put them back in. But that's what spoilers is all about, guys.
Last call for questions. We're going to sign off for the evening. If there's anything else you guys are speculating,
going to build up our strength for tomorrow.
I think we've broken it down. So seeing how this triple eviction plays out tomorrow is going to be interesting. Seeing how Dr. Will plays into it is compelling. So I'm excited for Thursday. I'm going to be there. I hope the outcome is what I want it to be, or at least part of what I want it to be. But either or not, we're going to be here to cover it tomorrow night, and we'll be back Sunday to talk about the next stage as we head into the final 6 of this season. Also, looking to our other channels, Live Long and Podcast is where we do Star Trek podcasts 4 times a week. Tuesdays, D Space 9. Wednesdays, original series. Thursday, which is tomorrow, is going to be Lower Decks, and we're gonna do that one early. We're gonna do that one at 7:00 tomorrow, so that we can watch Big Brother and then do Big Brother after.
Okay.
Night. So So yeah, it's going to be good. And then our other then Star Trek Radio Theater this Saturday night, we're going to be doing Sub Rosa from Star Trek Next Generation's 7th season, which features Beverly Crusher having a romance with a space ghost. So
Giving up the ghost.
yeah, and Jeff, you're going to be playing Counselor Deanna Troy, and we're going to have some girl talk about Ronan.
I'm going to play Counselor Deanna Troy as opposed to Officer Deanna Troy.
Like
Jodie.
Geordi.
Data.
Jodie. Data.
She's wearing her Mobara martial arts gear here too.
And then I got Worf. Worf. You
Worf.
talk.
Yeah, Mott playing.
How have we not gotten a Gowron episode yet for TNT? Jesus.
I don't know, because we said we would bring in our brother Rich when we ever have a Gowron, at least for the first one. And
He's
so,
like, put me in, coach.
but it hasn't come up. We haven't landed on a Gowron.
But we did get Ghostfucker, and that's an important one.
That was an important one. That was an important one. You know, this Sub Rosa. This is what we're doing Saturday, and I am going to
They
be.
called this Sub Rosa.
I'm going to be hamming it up because it's apparently that's Latin for secrets, and it's about the secret romance of her grandmother with Ronan.
Oh yeah, it's secret already.
It's a romance with a space candle ghost alien thing. It's complicated.
He's like figuring her pretty much the whole episode, right?
Yes, he gets her to quit her job. He gets her to do a lot of things. It's he's been basically. So what he is he's the space ghost that has been not a space ghost. He's an alien that lives in a candle that has been having romances with all of Dr. Crusher's mother, grandmother, or sorry, just her grandmother, and like all of these women in her family for generations. So when one dies, he just moves on to the daughter, or the granddaughter, depending on how long they live. And so Beverly Crusher.
So he's like the Woody Allen of space.
Yeah, she is the next link in that chain.
That's exactly what he is.
Crushed it.
A Woody Allen in space, but he's invisible. It's terrifying.
So he even brings back the Beverly Crusher's grandmother in the story, Felicia. That's what it says, Felicia Howard's corpse.
She needs to come back to tell her.
Right. She goes, "It's okay, Beverly. We've been having sex with Ronan." Space Ghost and Candy. So it's all you got to check that out. And Mott's gonna be playing a Scottish guy.
I'm excited to see Mott's version of Geordi.
I think it's about time.
Yeah,
Because if there's a coolant leak in this episode, I want to hear Mott do a coolant leak.
I don't think there is a coolant leak, but there's some kind of like.
Can we
Always a
invent one
coolant
for this
leak.
episode?
There's always a coolant leak. Every episode is a coolant leak.
He said he doesn't say coolant leak in this one, but anyway.
Says it a lot.
Anyways, check that out Saturday night. And we talked about Trivial Debates. We just did the big battle royale. So that's our 3 channels: Super Mario Brothers Podcasting, Trivial Debates, and Live Long. Anyway, so we're done rambling. Thanks for all the comments and everybody watching. Make sure to subscribe to all that stuff. And we'll be here tomorrow night to cover this triple eviction. We're really excited. So until then, stay safe and remember to follow the golden rule. That's what the gold.
It's okay if it's in
Don't
a
judge.
If it's in a triple eviction. It's okay if it's in a triple eviction.
yes.
It's okay if it's in a